The following is a Stars and Strikes doubles rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable programs.
Stars and Strikes doubles. Stars and Strikes doubles is sponsored in part by Somerville Lumber. Stars and Strikes doubles is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome again to Stars and Strikes Doubles here on The Winds. I'm Doug Brown, along with Dan Murphy. We're coming to you, of course, as always, from our new location, the Londonderry Bowling Center in Londonderry, New Hampshire. And as we start the new year, we have a new ladder with some interesting names in this series.
Interesting names, and people who've been with us many, many times. Other people haven't been with us in a long time, and also have a rookie thrown in there, so it's a good mix.
In fact, we have a rookie in this show. That's where he fits into this 10-bowler ladder. Of course, 5 doubles teams going for the big money, the $800 first prize. We'll tell you more about that a little later on. But let's meet our 2 teams for today's show. Right off the bat, we will get started with, from Derry, New Hampshire, Tim Lipke, and his partner from Newmarket, New Hampshire, Don Micucci.
Okay, and Timmy comes in averaging 130. His roll-off score 655. Don comes in at 122, and his roll-off score 652.
Home advantage for Tim Lipke in this one?
I don't know. I've always found it real tough to bowl at my own house, but we'll see.
All right, and of course they will be bowling our number 4 seeded team in this particular ladder, and that team made up from Rentham, New Hampshire, Rentham, Mass, of Bill Treeful, and from Salem, New Hampshire, Peter Pereira.
Okay, Bill comes in averaging 128, 661 his roll-off score, and Peter 130 and 659.
So we have our 2 teams set for today's show. Of course, brand new series. It runs for 4 weeks. And at the end of the 4-week series, of course, we'll have one team that advances to the Tri-State Megabucks Doubles Tournament of Champions. And, of course, we'll be awarding the big money for first place as well. But we've got lots to cover between now and then. We'll tell you more about this particular series and more about these bowlers today when we come back to start the match from the Londonderry Bowling Center right after these messages. Don't go away. We are back on Stars and Strikes Doubles, and as we always do at the beginning of a new series, we'll bring you up to date on all of the scores. These are the individual roll-off scores as they appeared when the bowlers competed individually. Chuck Godzik was in that number 1 spot at 698, and then you see on down the line. Now remember, they're paired up, of course, 1 with 2, Godzik and Flynn, then Sargent and Vadnais, Mike Poulin in the 5th spot, paired with Brian Uphold. And then today's bowlers, Bill Treeful and Peter Pereira in the number 7 and 8 spots, and Tim Lipke and Don Micucci in the 9 and 10 spots. So let's see what those total scores look like now. And here's the ladder that we'll be looking at during this series. Lipke and Micucci, number 5, Treeful and Pereira, number 4. The winners get Mike Poulin and Brian Uphold next week. And right now we've got Tim Lipke ready to get this match going on lane 30 here in Londonderry. And Londonderry, by the way, is where Tim Lipke is from, not Derry, as I said earlier. I was close.
That's right.
And how about that? Well, we're talking about home court advantage. Tim Lipke is the assistant manager here at the Londonderry Bowling Center, and there he goes, strike on the first ball.
I have to kid Timmy, because I went over the show, the format and everything. Yep. I got it.
Just forgot that he was supposed to move over to lane 29.
Because you remember last time he was on, he got up at the same time with the other bowler or something. And it's an 8 fill on the strike. And Timmy go after the 6-10. And he'll get those. Perfect start. No pin standing. 28 after 2.
And that brings us around to The leadoff man for our 4th-seeded team, Peter Pereira. Peter's been a regular here this year on Stars and Strikes doubles, but one thing that he would like to change today is he would like to get his first win.
That's right. He's been with us quite frequently this season, and yet to post a win, and it won't be long. He's too good a bowler not to have a win.
Dottie Larick handling a loose pin in front and also a standing pin in the next lane.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't know it yet.
And Peter takes it out for the spare. Those are the 2 pins that are standing on that go out on a half Worcester right. The 3 and the 9, and Peter Pereira takes care of it for a spare. And actually, he got a nice break on the first ball, which was well off target to the left.
And now the fill on the spare. Light hit, but watch out. Everything but the 10-pin. Great 9-pin fill on the spare. And now the testy 10-pin. Tough pin for a right-handed bowler.
Oh, not quite.
A little bit farther left, he might have clipped the wood and had the ball carry him off the wood for the pin, but it was right down the middle, and he tried it that time and was no problem. 29 after 2. Came back and said, I was going to play it there.
Play it there next time. And now making his first appearance on the wins, Don Micucci from Newmarket, Tim Lipke's partner.
He's going to shoot at 4 horsemen right plus the 7-pin on the left-hand corner. Okay, pull that ball to the left. And disappointing 6 box for Don. 34.
Well, I'm sure Don is now happy that the first box is out of the way.
That's probably the toughest one.
Yep.
And the next hurdle is to get that first mark under your belt. And if he's going to do it here, it's going to be one heck of a shot. 3, 6, 10 on the right, 2, 4 on the left.
Happy New Year, by the way.
Yes. I trust you had a quiet and safe holiday.
Yes, and you as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Hope everyone did, enjoying the holiday season and ready for the brand new year. Let's take another look at that attempted 10 box by Don. It's a heck of a shot, just missed it. Well now, speaking about New Year's and years, Bill Treeful making his first appearance here on Stars and Strikes since 1985.
Wow.
It was March of 85, almost 8 years ago. Bill Treeful came in paired with Tony Marie Broussard in a mixed doubles Pro Bowlers Classic, sponsored by the WCBC, and Bill and Tony Marie lost that match. Bill Treeful and Tony Marie Baldinelli losing to Jack Ray and Sharon Rawson.
You see the miss there. The ball just capped the wood, pushed the 2 pieces of wood, one to the right, one to the left, and ball missed just to the left, left the pin standing, got it for the 10. Moves over to lane 29, half Worcester left.
Call it a 7. So the lead for Pereira and Treeful now at 3 pins after the first 4 boxes. Well, there's something else you're going to have to get on.
I know. I guess I'm going to have to go over these again with Timmy. He was not listening.
Oh. He may not be listening, but he remembers what to do when he finally gets up there.
That's right. Just point him in the direction. He's all right. Well, he likes that lane 30. His team has 2 marks, both strikes, and both by Timmy.
Another pretty good-looking hit, only this time he leaves the 2-8.
He wants that wood to stick around. Always helpful when you have these 2 pins. So directly behind, the 8 pin is directly behind that 2 pin. You have to hit it full, but with the wood, he'll be able to miss it to the left. Didn't get full advantage of that wood because he pulled the ball to the left a little bit, but clears it away for the 10. 72 through 6 boxes now. Game number 1.
Peter Pereira from Salem, New Hampshire.
Susan Nash, please come on this.
Peter's wife, Diane. I did call Peter up the other day to give him all the information about the show and when we were taping and so forth. And Peter and Diane have a song on their answering machine, so I was playing a little musical trivia while I was calling. And how about that for a shot?
Unbelievable.
Ruined a perfectly good story, too.
Played the 6-10 and everything, just caromed all the way over to the left, finally knocking down that 7 pin. That was a fantastic shot.
Oh,
and
no.
There's the reward for such a fantastic shot. A 2 fell by hitting the object pin, the head pin. That's a shame.
Chopped out the 1 and the 9.
So I don't know the rest of the people, but I'm dying to hear about this song.
It was a huge hit song by a group called Katrina and the Waves about, must have been 5, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, called Walking on Sunshine, and they haven't been heard from since, and I saw them in concert once, and they were fantastic. My ears rang for about 3 days afterwards, but it was a terrific show. And I always wondered whatever happened to them.
Is that the end of the story?
That is the end of the story.
That's the end of the
It
story.
would have been better had I not been interrupted.
Per name, per person, it would be the person that bowls the most pins over ever.
Oh, Don Micucci almost coming up with a spectacular shot.
3-6-10, and he's able to cut the 3 into the 4 pin, left just the 2 pin. Gives them 82 through 7.
Don Micucci from Newmarket, New Hampshire. Works as a postal carrier out of Sandown. Does a lot of his bowling right at the Lamprey River lanes in Newmarket. Easy for me to say. And there's a strike for Don in box number 8. So he gets on the board with that first mark.
And that's another hurdle for him, getting that first mark. Now his team has 3 marks, all strikes. The team of Treeful and Pereira have 2 marks, both spares.
Hurdle for me is being able to say Lamprey River Lanes, which is where this final roll-off for this series was held. So we want to acknowledge the fine work of Mr. Robert Potter and his staff in Newmarket for helping us out. Watch out.
No.
Nope, that's a 9. Tough break for Bill Treeful. He just clipped the wood in the channel before he got the 7 pin. So it'll go as a 9 box, and he'll move over for his 8th box. Right back in the pocket. How about that for a recovery?
Boy, there's a swing of 11 pins.
11 pins plus.
Right.
He matches the strike put up by Don Micucci, though. And now for the final 2 in game 1.
Timmy's throwing nothing but strikes in that lane. Let's see what happens this time.
Looking for 3 in a row on the same lane. Nope. Back on the head pin, but full this time. Seven Phil on the strike left by his partner. And Tim will take a 9 box for a 108 through 9. again, the winners of this match will come back next week to face Mike Poulin and Brian Uphold. Pretty formidable pairing there.
2 more bowlers from the Londonderry Bowling Center. They do some bowling here.
And of course, we told you about some of the names to come. Mike Sargent, Steve Vadney, Chuck Godzik, Peter Flynn. This is a very talented group. And almost, it looked like 2 pieces of wood collided and prevented Tim from getting the conversion on the 10-pin.
That close to a spare.
But instead, a 10 box and a 118. A very unusual 118. 3 marks, all strikes. Let's get another look at that now. Right there was a piece of wood coming over from left to right. It was stopped by the head pin coming off the side wall.
Now Pete Pereira to fill the mark put up by his partner Billy Treeful. Half Worcester left.
Pete does a lot of his bowling at Park Place Lanes in Wyndham and also at the Woburn Bowlodrome, where he's the manager. Oh, how about this? How about this?
Oh,
yes.
That is fair. Great recovery. I was going to say, we have a saying in this game, if you just miss a spare or something, like you get robbed on a shot, we say call the cops. Well, he won't have to yell too loud because his partner is chief of police of, Norfolk?
Right. It's Bill Treeful, of course. And how about an 8 fill? 9 fill. Make it a 9 fill as he taps out the 7-pin. How big is that?
Real big, considering he's got the 10-pin with all kinds of help out in front. He's got about 1/3 of the plate to play with here on the 10-pin.
Oh, yes. 124 for the team of Pereira and Treeful, plus a ball. Just a 3 fill that time, though. A 127 for the team of Pereira and Treeful. So they take a 9-pin edge after game 1, and we'll be back with more on Stars and Strikes Doubles in a minute. Welcome back, Stars and Strikes Doubles, Game 2. The team of Peter Pereira and this man, Bill Treeful, leading by 9 after Game 1. Bill Treeful, as Dan mentioned a little bit earlier, the police chief in the town of Norfolk, Mass. Bill lives in Wrentham, next door. Does a lot of his bowling at Wallex in Waltham.
Billy was, I don't know if he still is or not, but he was a big advocate of running. He was in a lot of, I don't know if it's police chief marathons or what, but he was big in that. I don't know if he still is or not. It certainly looks like he is. He's in pretty good shape.
Well, I would think in his line of work you pretty much have to be.
Right. Just missing 4 horsemen to the left. Just went by the head pin, took out just the 2-pin. And it's an 8-24 after 2 for Billy Treeful.
Don Micucci stepping back up now. Don told me he's been trying for a couple of years to get on the program. Finally made it. And if that had fallen the other way, he would have had a strike.
Everything but the head pin.
Don said he actually took a break from competitive bowling for a while last year. He'd been pressing, he thought, particularly in roll-off situations. Took a little break, came back, fresh outlook, and here you are on TV.
I don't recommend that to everyone, though. Matches the spare already put up by Treeful and Pereira. Pull the ball to left, too.
Actually, the first spare for the team of Lipke and Micucci. Prior to that, they had had 3 strikes.
Thin hit there.
Saw one of those converted already by Peter Pereira.
5 and 7 left. Piece of wood in front of the 5. He's going to hit both. Nice shot.
But the lead increases by 2 for Treeful and Pereira as it goes up to an 11-pin advantage now.
You see the advantage of having that wood just slightly turned in front of the 5-pin.
Oh, big first ball by Peter Pereira. Boy, he is throwing the ball exceptionally well. He was off target a couple of balls early, but he has been right on the mark since then. Throwing the ball very well.
Oh, that's a double. That close to one anyways.
Looked like it should have been. Instead, it's the 4-pin. Going to be a little careful of the wood in front.
Well, the way his ball breaks from right to left, he should just drive it right straight through that piece of wood. I wouldn't. No, he's going to be right on the pin. No problem.
The way he's throwing, he doesn't have to even worry.
54 through 4 plus the bonus ball coming. Already leading by 11.
Tim Lipke now. Mentioned Tim as the assistant manager here at the Londonderry Bowling Center. And Tim lives right here in Londonderry with his wife Wendy and children 10-year-old Shane, 17-year-old Shauna. And Tim looks at the 7 and the 9, but this is makeable with the wood.
Just go right down the center. Maybe grab both pieces of wood. Nice shot. You see the ball carry him off the front piece into the second piece, and both pins go out of there. He matches, well, puts a mark up anyways, opposite the strike.
Oh, there it is. Now he's matched it. He goes strike on spare, opposite the spare on strike on the other side of the scoreboard. We get a good match going here, just at about the halfway point. Lipke and Micucci trailing by 11. We'll be back in a minute. Back we are, Stars and Strikes doubles. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy. Hope you enjoy the fact that we are back at our original time here on Stars and Strikes doubles at 1 p.m. immediately following Stars and Strikes beginning today. I guess because the people demanded it.
That's right.
Due to popular demand.
Oh, Billy just missing the head pin. Tried to make it 3 marks in a row. 7 fill on the spare.
We say all the time that we appreciate hearing your comments, letters, and particularly the folks who come to the tapings to give us their opinions and comments about the show. And one of the most common that we had heard over the last several months was, shouldn't have changed it. Shouldn't have left from 1 o'clock. So we're back at 1 o'clock.
Everything but the 5-pin for Billy.
Ooh, watch out.
Lost that one completely to the right.
And to the left. Now Don Micucci comes up to work on the strike left by his partner, Tim Lipke. And they're trying to play catch-up, so an opportunity here with 2 open frames by their opponents.
Big opening. That's a makeable spare, the 1, 2, and 10, and got a nice piece of wood that is right behind the 1 and the 2 pins with a nice angle to clear the 10 pin. He's got to be thinking head pin here, and he should make the spare.
Let's see. Yes, the wood took it. Hit it a little light, but the wood took it.
Just caught the head pin going by.
If the wood isn't there, he probably doesn't make that shot.
And now an 8 fill, and this game will be all tied up. Needs some help.
Nope.
Not going to get it. 3.
Well, here's a leave you don't see very often.
The 1, the 5, and what else we got? The 8 and the 6?
Yep. New one on me.
Probably don't want to see it very often either.
Not without a lot of wood, anyway. An 8 box for Don. So they've chopped 3 pins off that lead. It's now 6. As Peter Pereira steps back up. Peter has
Right
got
back in the pocket. Wow.
We talk about it every time Peter is here, Dan, but it certainly bears repeating that he's got one of the smoother deliveries that you'd ever want to see.
It really does. His arms, I always amaze. His arms almost come together in the back. Ooh,
Well,
that time he pulled it.
In golf terms, he instead of going beyond the horizontal on his back, he goes beyond the vertical.
That's right.
His arm actually, when it goes up on the backswing, goes beyond straight up and down. It goes a little farther than that.
I used to be able to do that about 20 years ago. 89 through 7.
Right back on the head pin.
Another 9-pin drop, this time the 7-pin. It's going to be a little testy. He just missed a single. He's got to be thinking about that. It's be a real confidence builder if he can nail the 7-pin. And he does. Spare in the 8th.
That's mark number 9 for the team. Tim Lipke overall on Stars and Strikes. This is his 15th appearance. He is 8-6 in his previous visits with us. The last time he was here on doubles back in March of last year when he teamed with Larry Valcourt to win a semifinal match before losing in the finals to Norm Bork and Ed Emerson. Tim gets a spare in the 7th. Tim, of course, has been around for many years. He's appeared on all the shows, I think. I don't think there's any that he's missed.
I don't think so. He's one of the best candlepin bowlers in the state of New Hampshire. And he'll probably show you why right now. He's got the 5 and the 10 pins left. Almost looks like if he goes in between the 5 and the 10 and draws the 2 pieces of wood together.
Ooh.
That's it.
How about that?
Nice shot. See, now he's starting to listen to me. I'm telling him how to play these shots.
Right in the V there with the
That's
pieces of
right.
wood.
As if he needs any telling as far as bowling goes. 111 in the 8th.
Bill Treeful now the final 2 for his team, working on a spare and carrying 6.
That double mark temporarily gave Lipke.
Yes!
Oh, yes, great spare.
Bill had an idea that he might have made that. He gave it a little extra body English after he released the ball.
And there you see it. Get some help with the wood on the 7-pin.
That makes it 2 marks in a row for that team, and maybe a 3rd in a row here. Big 8-pin drop.
Now he's going to have some difficult wood out in front. The way the wood is, if he hits it on the red line or below, it doesn't look like he's going to carry the 8-pin, so that means he's going to have to come up high. And now you run into a problem with the 2nd piece of wood in the back. You know, he looks like he's... No, didn't even get either one of them because of the wood in the back.
As always, our presenting sponsor here on Stars and Strikes Doubles, the folks at Tri-State Megabucks. And it won't be long now before we're bearing down on our 2nd annual Stars and Strikes Doubles Tournament of Champions. Here's another shot at that spare attempt.
I see the reaction of the wood in the back just kind of killed the whole shot. But it's a 133.
And a 2-string total 260.
Not too bad, but they have a tendency to be, well, tendencies they might be behind. That's a 5 fill on the spare.
Don Micucci will need a mark in one of the final 2 boxes here in order to bring this match even, or to possibly take the lead. It's a 9, 125, so a mark and a 7 fill would even this match.
Regardless of what happens, there'll be 1 mark apart going into the final game.
Ooh, off to the right, half Worcester. Well, we've seen it made.
Whatever happens, he'd like to keep that lead in single numbers. Well, he's got a shot at it.
Not quite enough to
Oh,
carry.
wait a minute,
Wait.
wait a minute.
I was going to say not quite enough to carry it, but everything but the 7 pin.
And the 7 pin is rocking back and forth.
Well, mission accomplished as far as keeping the lead in single digits. It's 8 right now. And now it's 7. A 135 for the team of Lipke and Micucci, and we've got a heck of a match going here. Just 7 pins the difference, with Bill Treeful and Peter Pereira in the lead, and we'll be back with the 3rd and deciding game on Stars and Strikes doubles after these words. Tim Lipke, ready to begin game 3. Quick reminder that our next taping session here on Stars and Strikes doubles will be on Sunday, January 24th, here at the Londonderry Bowling Center. And straight through the middle goes Tim Lipke. We'll be taping our annual ladies doubles event on January 24th. So we invite you to join us for that. We'll be starting around 10:30 in the morning on the 24th here at Londonderry, and we go all day long till about 5 in the afternoon. And a 9 box. Recovers and drops 9 this time on the first ball.
He was looking at the 6-7, and finally the 6 pin went down. Hang on. No,
Nope.
sir. 9.
Oh, we've seen that happen twice now. Once for each team. Again, the ball clips the wood in the channel, and that immediately negates the shot. Ball must come in contact with a pin standing or a fair piece of wood before making contact with a standing pin. That wasn't the best way to explain that, but I meant to say is before you hit a standing pin, the first thing the ball must hit is either a standing pin or a fair piece of wood.
Right.
That's what I meant to say.
Well, the lead now is reduced to 5 with that 7 fill opposite the 9 by Timmy Lipke.
Very thin on the head pin that time.
He's going to have a nice piece of wood there. He's going to sweep everything from right to left by hanging on the red line or shoot directly at the 5 pin. The problem may be the 8. That wood's not deep enough. No?
Oh, slides right over for Peter.
No problem there. You see the replay just sweeping everything right to left.
That is the 11th mark for the team of Pereira and Treeful. Remember, they have the lead by 7 coming into this game. Don Micucci and Tim Lipke have 9 marks in the match so far.
Don is off target to the right. Still looking at 7 pins.
Trying to work himself out of this. And it's a $9. Now on lane 29, and Dunn in need of a mark right here for the team. We'll look at the 1, 3, and the 8 with no wood.
Almost a little heavy on the head pin to drive it back for the 8. And you have, of course, have to worry about not carrying the 3 pin. There you go. And it's going to be a 9 and 36 through 4. So a chance for Billy Treeful now to push the lead into double figures. Leading by 6 now, and he'll throw the bonus on the spare. Tries a crossover in the 1-2, but catches just a little heavy on the head pin. 6. Phil, 3, 6, 10 on the right with the 4 pin. Oh, he's got a shot.
Oh, yes. That's a big shot right there.
It certainly is. He just splits the 3. Watch the 3 pin jump right into the 4. Great shot by by Billy.
Actually, we've got in Bill Treeful and Peter Pereira down a pairing of a couple of guys looking for their first win here on Stars and Strikes. Bill made just that one appearance 8 years ago and did not win that match. And of course, Peter Pereira, as we talked earlier, is 0 for 4.
It's a decent fill of 8, but a difficult spare in the 6-7 left for Billy.
Can't get it all the way over there.
It's a little round of applause for the great effort, though. Just didn't have the angle in that wood. We'll try to knock down the 7 pin.
Got it for the 10, and we will take a break. Treeful and Pereira have padded their lead a bit. As you see, it is now 22. The advantage over Tim Lipke and Don Micucci. That with 6 frames to go, and we'll be back with those 6 frames right after we have these few messages. Well, 6 frames to go. Tim Lipke and Don Micucci have 22 pins to make up. Not an impossible task, but got to throw some marks up on the board. And they're in a bit of a drought right now. They've gone 6 frames without one. Tim will shoot at the 8 and the 10 with some interesting wood.
Almost try it right-hand tip of that front piece of wood. Just below the red line, have the ball carry him toward the 10. But he's got a choice to the left, too. See where he decides to go.
Took some time to think about it. Red line it is, and there you go. Right on the red line it appeared for the spare.
Just drove everything back. And a much-needed mark in the 5th.
10th mark for the team. Tim wanted me to pass along. Oh my, tough break. Right on the head pin, punches out 3. Tim wanted me to pass along good wishes and a happy new year to a couple of great fans of Stars and Strikes here on the Winds, who also happen to be Tim's grandparents, Burgess and Daisy Chase in Raymond, New Hampshire. So hello to them.
Timmy's got some work to do on this 3rd ball. Does pretty well.
It'll be a 7 box, so that negates the effect of the spare. Just 20 pins in the 2 boxes.
And he's used up a little bit of his ammunition, the 5th and 6th boxes. So he's down to 4, trailing by 22, but Pete Pereira can increase that lead anything over 20 pins.
Boy, Pete has got that first ball just clipping enough of the head pin to really give himself some nice action down on the deck, and he leaves a solid 5-pin.
Piece of wood is rolled out on the lane. Dottie will go down and remove that. That's out of play. And now Pete will try to negotiate the 5-pin for a spare. Oh, no.
We've seen an awful lot of marks in this match today, but we've seen several critical misses as well.
Absolutely.
Particularly on single pins.
And you can go back to some of the fills, too, on spares.
Yeah, that's true. The 3 a moment ago by Tim. They also had a 2 fill on a spare, another 3 fill earlier, and a 5. Treeful and Pereira have had a 2 fill, a 3 fill.
Pete will move over lane 29. Back on the head pin, full. 1, 5, and 9 pins out of there. Spread eagle plus the 8-pin. Good effort.
Seems that for the most part, Dan, lane 30 has been the more forgiving of the two so far.
Instead of gaining a few pins, he's going to lose a few in count. So the lead now, 20 pins even.
Of the 22 marks in this match so far, 16 of them have been on lane 30. How about that?
Well, I'd be hoping 29 would break down so I could finish on lane 30.
The lead is 20 with 4 frames to go now. Don Micucci trying to post a score.
6-7. Couple pieces of wood. They're going to roll back. Well, he's got to grab some of the 6-pin. Hopefully he can grab just enough to the right-hand side of the 6 and grab some of that wood at the same time for the 7-pin. Even then, I don't think he's got a real good angle. He may want to go far left and cap.
We'll see what he decides. It'll be to the right, and it won't work. Kind of hard to believe that nothing went down.
I know. He's going to grab the 6-pin for a 9-frame, but really needs to put a mark up for his partner, Tim Lipke, in the 8th. They really need 3 good marks right now to erase a 20-pin deficit. They only have 3 frames remaining.
To the right this time.
Pretty good effort there, but she'll leave the 5 and the 7 pins left. And Tim Lipke's going to be in a double strike situation, at least, when he gets up for his final 2.
Pair of 9s for Don Micucci, finishing his efforts for the day, and now that will bring Bill Treeful up for his final 2. And a mark right here in either of these 2 boxes could make it very, very difficult for Tim Lipke.
We got a good break coming back. He leaves himself the 1, 2, 6, 10. Couple pieces of wood that look like they should help him with a 6-10.
Playing it inside and converts it for the spare. Big one.
He would have made this, I think, without the wood. The ball was just on the inside where it would have carried the 6-10 by itself.
"13 marks now for the team of Treeful and Pereira. Dottie's been running down there so many times she's got to retie her shoe now. May need a new pair of shoes. On the fill, a 7. Increasing the lead to 28.
tried to cut the single pin, the 2-pin over into the 610, but now he just grab 1 or 2 more pins and his work will be done for today.
Well, that mark he put up in the 7th could prove to make things very difficult. You see the lead 29, so what that means is if even if Tim Lipke were to double strike, chances are Peter Pereira wouldn't even have to mark when he came up, depending on what Tim carries. There's one strike.
He's just going to have to keep throwing strikes. See the replay this time. He's picking on the 1-2 pocket, and they go down in a hurry.
That's the 5th strike for the team. 4 of them thrown by Tim Lipke. For the double, no. Tim waiting for the wood to settle, and it looks like it may roll off. It does. No. Well, that'll do it. Tim just looked back and said, I hate that leaf.
I hate when that happens.
And that right there cinches it as Tim comes up with just 28 pins in the final 2. So we're going to take a break while Peter Pereira wraps this thing up. And we'll give you the final score when we return to Stars and Strikes doubles. Bill Treeful and Peter Pereira will move on. Don't go away. And welcome back to Stars and Strikes doubles. Our runners-up today, Don Micucci and Tim Lipke. And Don, your first time here, probably not the way you wanted it to turn out, but really it just was a question of a few shots either way, pretty much.
Yeah, I was lucky to be paired up with a great partner like Tim. He made me feel very comfortable and at ease, and it just happened I couldn't fill the spares when I needed to and set him up for a big game or so to help us out.
Tim, so much for home court advantage, I guess.
Oh, it's still nice to bowl in your own house, as you can tell. I bowled fairly well, and it's always nice to have the home crowd advantage, too. So it's a lot of fun.
I'm hoping we'll see you both again real soon. We have the 5th place prize money for $150, and congratulations, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Congratulations. All right. Thanks very much. And now let's bring up Bill Treeful and Peter Pereira as they will get set to try and make it 2 in a row, and this is kind of a big moment for both of these guys. For Bill, of course, hasn't been here in quite a number of years, and Pete, you've been taking shots at this all year, it seems, and finally got win number 1.
Yeah, it's been a lot of close matches. I finally got one under the belt. So
it seemed like you were really, although you did miss the head pin a couple times, it seemed like when you were there, you were making a lot of good things happen. You seem to be throwing the ball very well today.
well, my ball was working very well. I punched very rarely, so it was a good day all around. So.
And Bill, good to see you again after all these years.
It's nice to be back, and it's nice to bowl against Timmy in his house. Timmy's a real fierce competitor, so anytime you're going to bowl Timmy, you're going to be in a good matchup here.
Well, we know we've got a pretty good matchup lined up for next week. A couple of guys named Mike Poulin and Brian Uphold. Perhaps you've heard of them.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yep, it'll be real fun.
We'll be looking forward to it. Thanks, guys. Congratulations. Thanks a lot. Peter Pereira and Bill Treeful are winners today, and let's take a look at what's coming up for next week now. Bring you up to date on our ladder to this point, as we are going to have a heck of a match next week, I have a feeling, Dan Murphy, as we've got Mike Poulin and Brian Uphold coming in that number 3 spot. Bill Treeful and Peter Pereira will be trying to make it 2 wins in a row.
Okay, should be some great teams and should be interesting next couple of weeks.
We're looking forward to it, and we hope you'll be back next Sunday here on The Wins. Don't forget now, we're back-to-back Sunday at noon for Stars and Strikes, 1 o'clock here on Stars and Strikes Doubles. Until next weekend, for Dan Murphy and the whole TV50 Sports crew, I'm Doug Brown. So long from Londonderry.